Hey crafty friends, welcome back to the Old Paper Lady. I'm Lori. From yesterday's video, it's been probably about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. Like I said, up on Tuesday morning because I got to go back to work at 11:30, so I couldn't sleep. I slept for about 3 hours, and I said, well, let's do some crafty stuff. And in yesterday's video, I was driving me and you and everyone else crazy about what pages to put where, when, and how. So I stepped away. I did go back to the original idea of putting this orange here. And then I just decided to put that piece there and on the front as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, and I've got all of my pages cut, laid out, and picked how I want them. I got to cut the size, and I'm going to glue them down. I even got the little strips to go on the little pieces in there. And then we'll glue these. I'm going to glue them this time with just the wet glues instead of trying to fool with the double-sided tape, because it tends to run a little bit long in the tooth when I do that. So I'm just going to start gluing. So this is going to be my first page. So I'm just going to take that, and I've got all my papers laid the way I want them. So that's what we're going to start doing. We're just going to start gluing, y'all. Probably need to get me a few more paper towels. I moved my paper towel holder to behind me here because it was on the corner of the desk, and then every time I try to get something, I'd smack something off over there. So we're just going to get a few paper towels handy and get going at it. Alright, so this is going to be my first page. And then I'll just set these to the side. So I hope everybody is doing good today. I'm hanging in there. I don't like filming ahead too much. Well, the only reason I'm doing it today is because, like I said, I couldn't sleep. And I slept for like maybe 3 hours last night. My dog woke up barking this morning about 3:30, 4 o'clock, needing to go out, and I've not went back to sleep since. So here we are. So I'm going to put this on here and square it up the best I can. And be mindful. See how that's still moving? Because the glue hadn't set. Be mindful of that. So you want to go around with your fingertips. Now what I done was I took a 8.5 by 11 page. In order for it to fit in my mini album, I scored it at 1/2 inch, and it's 6 inches. And then that gives you the whole piece where you don't have to piece them. And it folds, and it's got your little flip out. And then that will glue into your book like so. Easiest way I found to do these. Quickest, easiest way, actually. So I'm going to try my best to get this glue smeared out on this paper because it's really thick paper. And if you don't get the glue smeared out before it starts catching, you're in trouble. And the way this cardstock, Recollections cardstock's been acting, it's awful thin. Like my scrapbook paper pack that I'm using is thicker than that paper. And it should not be that way, because this is supposed to be 65-pound cardstock. I really don't think that it is. Really don't. Because for one thing, when you put wet glue on 65-pound cardstock, it shouldn't show through to the other side. Do you see that? Yeah. That shouldn't be showing through over there. So I'm a little niffed off about that. And when you say something is a 65-pound cardstock, guess what? It needs to be 65-pound cardstock. Because this paper here is what 65-pound cardstock should be. Not this. This is kind of basically like just color paper. That is my mama's house phone ringing early in the morning. Why does that look like that is super duper crooked down here on the bottom? It probably is. So I said I'm going to get my book done today. Now this will be, let's see. Today is Tuesday. I already shot Wednesday's video for you a little bit ago where I did the bumbling crafter, trying to put the corners on it and, you know, that stuff. So, and then trying to figure out how was the order of my pages for like 20 minutes, annoying everyone to death, including myself. So, this will be Thursday's video. Goodness, get yourself together, woman. So this will be my Thursday video. Hopefully we will get us all glued on and get the pages glued in. And this will be done. And then Friday I want to start the doing the altered book, tearing it apart and just showing you how I do an altered book. So, like, when I do an altered book, I'll take and tear the pages out and then try to, you know, fold my pockets, get my pockets and my flops and flaps and pieces, you know, set is what I try to do. And then sometimes I'll just go ahead and glue them, and sometimes I'll just clip them with the paper clip, just whatever's quicker. And I think just for the purposes of the video, to go through, and it's going to be a smaller book. It's not going to be a real, you know, 600 some page book. It's going to be a smaller book because my kids were going through some of their books and found a few hardback books, and I was like, oh, them will be perfect size for altered books, you know, because you're going to cover the whole page anyway, so what does it matter what it says on the inside? And so my daughter gave me it's a Star Wars book, and then it's like kind of like a, I don't know, kind of like a grayish color. What did I do with it now that I'm talking about it? It's this, and it's just a Star Wars book. And it's got some good thick pages in it. Lucas Dobbs, 77. I don't know how old this thing is, but it's got 183 pages in it. Karen Lucas Dobbs. What is that? Westernham, Germany? Shut your face. Well. Copyright 1976. I was born 2 years before that. So I'll keep like this page, and any of these pages I keep, you know, just because I don't want to tear that apart. Is because these pages are fairly thick, I'll probably keep to right here where the prelude is, and see, and then that's when you want to start. As you can see in here, like this is like a, that's like a whole, what do you want to call it? Signature right in there. So yeah. But I'm not going to keep any parts of, like, if there's any photos or what have you in it. I might pull them out, see if my kids want them. You know, like that kind of stuff. You know. But, yeah, none of this stuff I'll keep in the book. But I want to use that. And then here's another one I had. And I thought this may be a little bit too thick to do what I want to do with it. This would be good to set down with a scrap pad and go through with a pretty floral scrap pad and load it up. So that's probably what I'll do with that. But this is the one that I'm going to work on. And you want to size your pages you know, when you cover it. But that's what we're going to work on. Just something small, personal for myself. Just, you know, because I want to make it out of those, because I want to cover it with those fall florals. And I said that would be really good size to do that with. And I would have enough to cover the pages with and make tags and stuff out of it too as well. So by the time it gets done, it's got 183 pages. You take every 7th to 8th page out, and then you make pockets, tucks, and tags and stuff with it. That's going to be fun little thing to do just for myself, you know. Did I really just do that backwards? I sure did. I'm a knucklehead. Did y'all see what I did? That was supposed to have been orange. It's fine. Oh my goodness, what are you doing, lady? Yeah, that I was supposed to have glued the orange side down there. That's fine though. It's just a repeat of the very first cover, knucklehead. Let's look. It don't look too bad though. That's gonna be all right. Well, she's gonna put a 5/7 picture on that anyways. It don't matter. But I really wanted that orange polka dot there because that was going to be really pretty. So, yeah. Well, see, that's what it was supposed to look like. Oh, goodness. Okay, woman. Stop your mess. But anyways, work on one project at a time, woman. Quit talking about what else you're going to do. That's why you messed that up. Okay. I think it'll be fun. It's actually pretty anyways. I don't care. Alright, so I did decide to do this bit here with this. Because these bigger pages, like I said, you can put, you know, 5/7s on them. And it's just backgrounds, pretty background. And you don't have to worry about, you know, don't have to worry about it covering up so much of the pretty pattern. And then on the patterns, you can put, you know, 4x6, 3.5x5s, and still have pretty pattern around it. You know what I mean? So that's what we're going with. And I figured I was going to wind up doing that with one of them solid sheets that had double-sided on it. And so far, I've got everything up right. Good gracious. That's why I don't like doing this out of the book. But where this cardstock, supposed cardstock, is so flimsy, I'm afraid that, you know, when I put it in the book and I'm flipping and flopping and, you know, smoothing my glue out, that it's going to rip. Because it's done ripped on me twice. And I'm just before having a fit and telling Michaels what I think. Because, you know, if you're going to say that it's 65-pound cardstock, honey, let it be 65-pound cardstock. I mean, you know, this is ridiculous. Okay, so then that's going to be like that. So now I am going to lay these together here. Because this needs to line up with that. And I'm not putting these like that. I'm just lining it up to get the papers lined up. So that's going to be the front page. And we're flipping this over. And this is going to be the layout here. I actually like that a lot. Okay, so now, because these are non-directional, I'm going to glue this one first. Because I don't want to get it upside down. You see what I'm saying? So see, you can even go pre-cut and you know, pre-arrange and still glue it on the wrong side, honey. Trust me. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen on camera. I have learned that so much here lately. Okay, and I'm just using the other page to line this up. this top and bottom is what I'm doing. And that's why I said it's a little easier when you actually put your pages in your album to start with and then decorate the pages. But as flimsy as this cardstock is, I didn't want to chance that, to be quite honest with you. And I've got glue right up to the edge of that, and it's still trying to separate from it. I don't get that either. And be careful rubbing that if you get glue smushed out too much, because it'll weaken your fold and it'll break. Now this is real flimsy, and that's about what this paper feels like. I mean, seriously, this cardstock supposedly feels like just, you know, regular copy paper. It feels like the 40-pound weight that I print my journal papers on from Staples. That's what it feels like. It doesn't have any texture to it or nothing. It's just smooth. And this is thinner cardstocks, or thinner scrapbook paper that was in my stash that I thought went well with this. So I'm just not loading it up too much with glue, because it may want to show through. Be my luck, it will. Move that out of the way. But see, that looks really good. But like I said, you know, your cardstock shouldn't be showing through your glue swirls on it. Your scrapbook paper should be, not your cardstock. I know, I'm just complaining about this daggum cardstock here. It just burns me up. But which, you know, you get what you pay for and where you get it from. So, I can't afford to use the premium, what's that, premium basil that everybody talks about. Maybe if I go to Joann's when they have it on sale and just load me up some, that'd be great. But yep, so there's that page. I'll flip this over, but see how that's rippling? Can you see the ripple of that paper? That should not be rippling like that. And we may have some someday view here, because the sun's coming in, so it may be super saturated here in just a second. Alright, so now I want to make sure that we are still upright. I did go through and write the measurements on it upright, so that if I did get messed up, I would have just the measurements on it for my reference of which way was up. So now the little flat pieces on this, after you score your 8.5 by 11 and you score it on your 8.5 side, or nope, sorry, don't do that. You score it on your 11-inch side, 1/2 inch and 6 inches. So from your 1/2 inch to your 6-inch score, you would cut your design paper to 5 1/4 by 8 inches tall. Because remember, we cut this down to 8.5 to match our book. Or 8 1/4, I'm so sorry. I'm giving all kinds of wrong measurements. Let me fold this back, because that's where I want that to go, and not put it on the wrong page. And then your little flat pieces, your little fold outs or flop outs. You can do those 4 3/4, or I would probably would have wanted to done this at 4 7/8, to be quite honest with you, because it would do a better trim on it. But just to get the 1/4 inch around, you would do 4 3/4 for your decorative paper on the inside and out of the little flaps, on the inside and out of your, what I'm calling the main page, from your 1/2 inch score to your 6-inch score. That would be 5 1/4 on both sides. So this is the flap. It's going to be 4 3/4 on front and back. The main page from the 1/2 inch score is going to be 5 1/4 on both sides. I gotta get a drink. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that everybody was clear on the measurements and where you needed to score in that, because it's not really a tutorial. It's just me crafting for my grandbaby, and I need to make her book that she picked out for her pictures. And I'm probably going to take and make me one of those 1-inch folios for myself, you know, for her pictures and for my shelf. And this is her book out of this paper as well. That's why I was trying to keep some of the papers from the pad itself, or the kit itself, just because I knew that I was going to try to make me a matching one. Now this is going to go to her house. She's going to pick out the pictures that she wants in it to put on her bookshelf for her keepsake. And then I also need to go back and make me one of her Halloween mini album. I need to make me a 1-inch folio of that. So I may do that after we get this altered book situation going. Because the altered book is going to be, I want to use it for those pretty fall florals, just because I think it's going to be pretty in it. And so then that is that page. And then it flips out this way. So then, and then it flips over to this side. Okay, and so then this is the last page. I'm going to start in the middle so I don't mess it up. And see, that would be pretty as well, and it'd be gorgeous to put a picture on that, but I wanted a truck side. I wanted a truck side on there. Just because it was talking about, you know, apple crisp, pumpkin pies, apple pies, and all this and that, you know. And then this has, so basically it's kind of like a little, you can do a hayride, you can go on the pumpkin patch. They do the apple, bob for apple type thing, which is not really a bob for apple. It's you put a glove on and reach in the water and get it, and they call it bobbing for apples because, you know, we can't do the bobbing for apple with all the sickness going on. And I wouldn't let my kids or grandkids do that for myself. Just personally I wouldn't, but not a germaphobe, but, you know, where I've been sick in the last 3 weeks, I mean, you know, I think we've had enough of the mess. But, I mean, you know, common sense is common sense as well. I pick sometimes with my boss about that. I was like, I really just want to start a class on common sense. And I said, and you know what? We'd be millionaires. He'd say, why? And I'd be like, because a lot of people don't have enough common sense to know that you don't need to take a class on common sense. So, you know, we would make big bucks doing that. And please don't take offense to that. It's just a joke. But, you know, we all see people out in our daily lives that we're just like, how in the world did you get here? You know, how did you travel along the road in a car and get here? And these are supposed to be, you know, our smart leading citizen type people. You just look at them and say, what in the world? I'm going to get off that before somebody fusses at me. I'm not picking on nobody. I'm just saying. You know. Alright, so that's going to be like that. I'm going to flip this over. And this is non-directional, so that's going to help me out. And that's going to be the front of that. I think that is going to be super duper pretty. And then on the back page, I just did a repeat of this that was over on the other page. Just because I thought it was going to go well with this. And didn't have to cut up another whole sheet, basically, is what I did. Let me turn it back over, because I'll forget which way I'm gluing it. And, you know, like I said, usually using non-directional papers sometimes helps you out. So our outside of our book, like I said, is 8 1/4 by 6 1/4. Mainly because, you know, you could cut your papers down to 8 inches, and your cover pieces would be 6 inches by 8 inches inside and out. And then you could use a solid one-piece sheet of cardstock, supposedly, to have your insert pages and not have to do a whole bunch of so-called building, you know. So you could put together fairly quickly, you know, had I not messed up the cover and broke the spine twice and, you know, all of this and that, and then sit here for 30 minutes fussing about what I wanted to go where. I mean, you can put together one of these in a good little afternoon, 3 or 4 hour project, you know, depending on what kind of glue you use, how much decorative bits you want on your cover. Now, mind you, if you do dimensional decorations, you want to wait until you get your pages in your book and decorated. Now, most of the time, I'll go and put my pages in my book, and then I'll decorate them, just because it's easier for me to see the layout of them. This is actually the second time I've done this, where I've done the pages and then went and put them in the book. And again, just because of I didn't trust the cardstock holding up with me flipping and flapping and pulling on it. I was afraid once this got glued down into my spine, it was going to break. So that's why I'm putting these little strips on it to help secure that, to make sure that through wear and tear that it does not break. So I'm going to put some little decorative strips in between the pages once I get them in there. And they will adhere quite handily. Just double flipping to make sure that we are upright. Because I did do some flip-flops. Even though I wrote the measurements on it. We just, you double, triple check. Just double, triple check. Okay, so that is all of our pages decorated. One tip that I can give on cutting your 12 by 12 pages down. So be mindful, like I said, of direction. So this is a whole sheet of 12 by 12, right? So I want this to be up. This will be, you know, the long part. So I need to cut it at 8. So when I cut it, I know that I want that facing up. So I would take and turn it this way, cut it to my height, and then turn it back this way and cut it to my width. And that's just a little helpful hint. That would have helped me out a long time ago if someone had told me that. Alright, so now there's our pages freshly glued up. I'm going to glue them and stick them in my book, and then all I got to do after that is put these little strips. I chose the polka dot strip to put in there to accent in the middle. And then the inside and the pages will be done. Then we can put our decorative bits on the outside. And so this is going to be the back and that's going to be the front. So I'm going to take the back one first, because see, on the front you have this, and it's going to meet right up against where your fold of your spine is. So I'm going to stick this piece. I'm actually going to lay it out flat if I can open it back up. And I'm going to glue it right there where our spine folds. See? And then I'll fold my spine up and set it right there. And hold that and glue that too out. And then the rest of them, we'll open them up and put them in after that. Now, the reason why I start in the back like that is because if you start in the front and you get this over too far, by the time you get to the back, it might be over in here. And then see, and you're in your spine. You're in the fold of your spine. So, just be mindful of that as well. Okay, so I'm just going to take and glue my little flappity piece here. And this would work really well if you have art glitter glue, because you can wiggle it just a little bit. Well, not a whole lot, but art glitter glue catches. If you have, what is that? The Bearly Arts glue, that's what I'm talking about. Where you have the wiggle room, but it catches really quick. So when you put it down, if you need to move it, you can. And I'm going to turn mine this way. And I'm just going to line it up right here at my spine. And I'm just going to fold my book edge up. And see, and that wiggles and moves. And if you can tell on your spine cover, see right here where it meets. Whoops. See right here where your spine cover meets? That is the exact size of your paper. So that's helpful. Alright, so now I think it's going to grab enough. I'm going to lay it down flat and just hold it on there for a minute. And that's why I said you can do it with, and what you're checking for is to make sure that your pages are straight and aligned in your book. And you don't want your pages sticking out too much to the top or too much to the bottom. So see that? Where we went back, laid it down flat, and aligned our pages to either side. That first page is the one that sets the tone for the rest of them. And see, we can fold our cover up, and it not hinder up against our paper. Alright, so now I'm going to lay this flat, and that sucker's on there. And we're just going to go from there. So now when I put this down, we're going to meet it right up against where we just put that flap. So you see where that flap is? We're going to meet it right up against that, but it right up against that flap right there. So now, once we've got the first page set, the rest of them is just, button it up against that one. And just holding it there for a few seconds till it grabs. You don't want to put a bunch of glue on it, but you want to put enough on her, it's going to hold. And then I always turn mine this way so I can get it on there. Get it lined up, and then I'll lay it flat. So I get my glue spread on there. See what I'm doing? I'm getting my glue spread, but I still have wiggle room, so I'll open it up. I'll wipe my glue down the front so I don't glue my pages to it. And then I check with the back page to make sure that my pages are set and they are even. That's why I said that first page is the most important page to get it lined up. Because you may have, just a hair off, cut different. Like, see, this here is just a wee bit hair off, cut different from that. So when you open it up and your pages meet So you got a little wiggle room to adjust it, is what I'm saying, within what your cutting guidelines are. Okey-doke. So then it will fold and fold this way, fold and fold this way. Then you can fold back and forth in your papers. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put this one on. Then we'll get those strips down, let it dry, and then I'll probably, I don't know what I want to do on the cover yet. I think I am going to ink that piece and put it on there. I do think I am. So I think I got a little too much glue on this, so I'm just going to go smooth it down a little bit. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So now that's taking a little bit of my wiggle room because of my wet glue. And you're just going to butt it up against it just like we did the other one. The best as you can. I always put it down folded up first just to get my glue mat down, and then I'll turn it, hold it, and open it up just because I don't want to get glue all over that page. Okay, so now that one's a way off, so we're going to straighten it up, line it up with our other papers, our other pages. And then we'll fold it back this way. And it butts up pretty good with it to make sure that it's inside my book all the way around. So see, this was all done within 1/4 of an inch. So you have a little wiggle room. So all of our papers match and line up. All of our pages. Now whether this is the same, because like I said, you know, you can get off a little bit cutting here and there, just depending on your scoreboard. I cut on a scoreboard, so you know, unless you cut it all at the same time, it's probably not going to be 100% exactly the same cut, to be honest with you. So I think our book looks pretty good, y'all. I think we done good after all that trouble starting out with. So we just fold back and forth and just go down and rub them. And it makes them pliable. So then you don't have really stiff pages. And that last one there. Okay. So I'm going to go through and put my strips. Now there's one that's a wee bit wider than the rest of them. And that's the one I need to go on the front page. And so see, I'm just going to put my strips right down the middle. I can get a hold of it. Now these strips will be 3/8, and it's a little tedious cutting them, yes. But these strips will be 3/8 for your spine cover. You don't have to put them on there. I just do it just because I think it's pretty. Adds a little bit of something else to it, you know. So we'll do that. And then the wider one, I'm going to put right here. Just to cover up right there where I put that down. And it could probably be wider than that, but that's what I'm going to use. Because that was a leftover piece, a strip, and that's what I'm using. I'll just take and glue that. And I cut all of those. The first two were 3/8, and this one was, what was it? Just a hair smidge past 3/8. It was just what was left after I cut it, to be honest with you. It was about a 1-inch strip. And I just lay it down where I put the first page on. Oh, come here, paper. You're not going to wiggle out away from me. You're not going to do it, buddy. There we go. So that is the seam where I put my page down, is why I'm covering up right there. And I think that's going to be pretty. Just reinforces that that page seam where we put it in there. The attachment wing that goes onto your spine. And you can take and put these down with double-sided tape, these your pages. But you take a little bit of time, you can get it in there with glue, and it will probably stay a whole lot better. And then that way, if you do need to wiggle it around, you have the wiggle factor. Sometimes I try to use double-sided tape for filming purposes, and it kind of gets me in trouble. Because I was like, oh, it'd be better to do that with that. You know, it'll catch, and I ain't got to wait for it to dry. Whatever. But the best thing to do is get you a good multi-purpose glue where you will have a little bit of wiggle room, and then it'll catch after a few seconds. Now, like I said, I use it was a big jug that I got from Hobby Lobby, and it was a all-purpose Elmer's glue. Not Elmer's school glue, just Elmer's all-purpose glue in a big gallon jug. I paid, I want to say, like $11 or $12 for it, and I think now it's 14 bucks for that same jug. But yeah, and so then you can put you a little pocket there if you'd like. I may put, I'm thinking I'm going to put like a thicker lace pocket here. I just think it'd be pretty to stuff extra pictures in, you know, because this is mainly just a photo book is what this is for. So see, that would be pretty to put like a 4x6 photo there. You still have the background, and this is a good 5x7. So yeah, you got plenty of room for pictures in this. Beautiful. I love it. It turned out pretty good, even though if I did try to mess it up the best I could. Yep, I like it a lot. But yeah, I got some well, I'll be out of it. I think I am. I got the lace that's on the cover, but I don't want to use that. No, I'm not out of it. I put it up in my big bucket. But it's lace, but it's more of a what is it? What are the words? It's more of a crochet. That's what it is. There, the word come. I was seeing the knit needles and everything, y'all, in my brain, but I couldn't spit the word out. Good gracious. Yeah. So it is definitely a more of a crocheted type lace. It would make a really pretty pocket just to put, you know, just in here. You know, you don't want to floof it out, but just a pocket on it. I think it'd be cute. Well, that's done, y'all. And there's our book. See how that fits up against the spine really good? And then you make sure you have plenty of room. Because if you start out here and, you know, you did not do a good measurement, and it'll run into, you know, your score line will run into your back cover. I have had that happen. So that's why on some of these, if it's not, you know, exact measurement and I'm following someone else's thing, you know, like a cut and code chart, which I've wrote this down. I think that's going to be quite pretty, y'all. I like it a lot. So now we got that in there. I'm going to wiggle my spine a little bit because all of that is dry, just to get it worked a little bit so it won't break. To get it where that flexes a little bit more. So now, do we want to ink this up? I think I do want to ink it up, and I'm going to. That's what I'm doing right now, buddy. Well, this is how I fixed the other one. I'm just telling you. Vintage photo, and just daub the heck out of it. And I need to change this dauber anyways, because it, you know. Now you can put this on, that's why I like the Fabri-Tac, or Fabri-Fix, I'm sorry. Because these wood veneer pieces that I love so much like this, it snatches them suckers on there and hangs on to them. Fabri-Tac says that it does, but I've had them fall off. I've got one book over here that I did last year that I used actual Fabri-Tac, the brand name Fabri-Tac on, and the end piece that I put on it came off, popped off of it. So I gotta fix that. And it could have been too just where, you know, I was grabbing the wrong piece of it, trying to pull it out of the bookshelf because it's overstuffed. But we're gonna fix that up. So I want it where you can still see the wood grain in it, but it's dark enough that it's going to pop off of there. Oh yes, oh yes, I love it, I love it. Let me see. Oh yeah. All right, might want a little bit darker, just a wee bit. It probably would have been quicker if I just took the stamper pad and stamped it on her. Alrighty, so I know, like I said, this is probably going to be Thursday's video, and please don't think that I am in no way, shape, or form taking in lightness of the hurricane situation. At this point in time, it is Tuesday morning for me, and I'm trying to get some videos ahead because I am. Oh, that does work better, don't it? Look at that. So when I get off of work tonight, it's going to be Tuesday night going into Wednesday, and I am planning on, because I done got my video for Wednesday and for Thursday done now, and I'm planning on watching the hurricane come in and praying while I'm watching that for the people in its path. So please don't think that I'm shooting videos sitting here giggling and laughing, you know, after a disaster had happened. This is pre-disaster video. You know, even though we have had the disaster in North Carolina since Helena, this is pre-Milton coming ashore. So please don't think that if you see this that I'm sitting here giggling and laughing, having a good old time. You know, Thursday after the hurricane came and wiped out everything. So this is Tuesday morning before Milton is even close to Florida yet. So I just wanted to make that clear because, you know, sometimes if you film ahead, you have situations that happen and then you're like, oh, I'm sitting here giggling and laughing and this tragedy happened. You know, and that's why I quit filming a week ahead on the weekends, because I was like filming Saturday, Sunday. I would film Saturday, I'd do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Sunday I'd do Thursday, Friday, and Saturday again. And then I was like, I gotta quit doing that because I'm getting too far ahead. People's gonna be like, oh, she's really just, you know, just sitting there just having a good old time and all this stuff's going on in her world. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, I like that. Oh, that looks so pretty. I love it. I'm glad that I went back and dabbed a dauber on it. I think that needs to set and dry though. I'm gonna glue it on there. Shut up. Just put it on there. Okay, so look. There it is, inked up, and there's the back of it, what we started with. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that everyone was clear that, you know, this is pre-hurricane in Florida. Post-hurricane Helena, pre-Milton. Because, you know, like I said, even I was sick, and I was like, you know, I can't just get on here and just be happy-go-lucky, you know, hunky-dory, whatever. At that point in time was the initial devastation of what came across from Helen. I was just like, oh my Lord, help them, Jesus, you know. I was just, And, you know, and then sometimes, you know, and I mean, and because I was sick and I was at home, I was just steady on, you know, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. I could get a image of it or hear news of it. And, honey, you can't do that yet. I had to turn it off. I had to turn it off. All right, so now I'm going to hold this. I'm going to hold my book with this because I've got ink on my fingers. And it's going to spread every which way. Alright, does that look straight to y'all? That looks pretty daggone good to me. So I'm just going to mush it down on there. Yeah, see the ink coming off of that? then I tried to wipe it off my fingers and I was like, nope, that's not happening. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Alright, so I'm going to let that sit there and let that ink soak in that wood. And I'm going to leave it alone. Go wash my hands up. And might try to go get me a biscuit before I go to work. But yes, please know that this is Tuesday morning. I'm shooting this video. So I shot Wednesdays and Thursdays on Tuesday morning. So my book's done. Yeah. Like I said, you can do this and, you know, get your measurements, your paper picked out. And, you know, the biggest part of it is deciding where you want your papers. You know, I mean, really, that's the hardest part about it, for me anyways, most of the time. Alright. Like I said, I may add that pocket, and I may not. I don't think I will. Well, I want to, just so, you know, they can add extra photos in there. Oh, indecision drives me nuts. Alright. And so there, we have the little pumpkins on it. That's going to be pretty. Alright, I'm done with it. Thank y'all so much. I probably won't, if I do put the pockets on it after a while, I probably won't come back and do nothing else with it on camera. As for now, it is done. And I love it. I think it's so pretty. But I need to put Harvest down the spine of it. So when this dries good, I'll set it up like this so it's even. And I'll put Harvest down it. And that's going to be it. Alrighty, thank y'all so much for watching, and like I said, again, I know this is going to air Thursday, and please, please keep any and everyone in the path of the hurricane, Milton, that has came through and should have made landfall by now. Please keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and send what help you can. And, you know, we are a nation of many, and I'm telling you, if everyone in our nation sent just $1, donated just $1, think of the difference we could all make with just $1. I know I blow $2 or $3 a day on Mountain Dew and, you know, cakes or whatever that I don't really need, but I want it. But, you know, just $1, 50 cents. I mean, whatever. Just try your best to help any way you can. And I know some of us are, you know, to me, I was out of work for 2 weeks here this month. And, you know, it is a little tight, but I mean, I can spare $1. You know, if everyone in the country spared $1, think of the difference we could make for these people. Thank y'all so much. Samaritan's Purse is probably your best bet of a donation, and it for sure going to help hurricane victims, or anyone that, not even a hurricane victim, anyone that is in true need of being helped. Samaritan's Purse and the American Red Cross donate blood. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good day so much.